Welcome. First, the Reich and Donny campaigned on releasing the Epstein files, for you rubes had made Pizzagate and sex trafficking a religion because Vlad taught you. So, your Orange Messiah wins the election. The MAGA Christians. The good guys win. Right, Rubes? You're the good guys, right? Shortly after that victory, a sham presentation full of podcasters financed by your enemies, you bloody marks, presents a binder full of Epstein revelations, just like the Reich and Donny promised. Unfortunately, all that information had been seen prior, and even some of that was redacted. So, Rubes, you didn't get the Epstein files during Phase 1. You got nothing. Because Donny's innocent, right? Donny promised it. No one made him promise it. He promised it. They promised a Phase 2, a further release of nothing. Time went on. Then they decided, instead of Phase 2, fuck you. The files don't exist, even though Miss Bondi had told us for at least a month that the files were on her desk and she had 1,000 FBI agents passing through them, preparing them for release. Once again, shortly after that, Miss Bondi and others, the entirety of the Reich, said the files don't exist, there's no list, there's no nothing. Forget all that talk about the files being on my desk. And during that time, we also found out that the 1,000 FBI agents were not preparing the Epstein information for release. They were redacting the Führer's name. Because Donny's innocent, right, Rubes? So, the public freaks out. A judge then says, you must release the files by law. We wait. The deadline finally comes. They tell us they'll release it in pieces, not all at once. And the pieces they released today are all redacted. Donny's name is nowhere to be found. And only information that we have seen prior, save for a few photos of Bill Clinton. In other words, Rubes, you got nothing again. And Donny wasn't taking questions today. How could I forget? Whilst all this was going on, Ghislaine was in prison, trying to figure out how she could get a pardon out of the Reich. So she decided to feed certain information to Mr. Murdoch, who then printed it. One piece of information being a birthday letter that Donnie sent to Mr. Epstein whilst he was alive, before he died under Donnie's watch. Conveniently, during the first term. The letter was a bit vague, but the, again, barely pubescent woman, girl, whatever you want to call her, drawn around the words, gave us the context we were looking for. Donnie denied he had made the letter before it was printed and when it was printed. Donnie said he was going to sue Mr. Murdoch and his publications. Then we found out, what, yesterday, the day before? That Donnie never sued. That means Donnie wrote the letter. Donnie's been president for almost a year. You've gotten nothing but black bars. You're on the wrong side of it, son. I suggest you get off that side. Let's begin. Kristi Noem, the podcast, she says the Brown University shooter Claudio Manuel Neves Valente. I have no idea if this is the guy. Entered the United States through the Diversity Lottery Immigrant Visa Program, DV1, in 2017. And was granted a green card. This heinous individual should never have been allowed in our country. Wow, heinous individual, immigrant, 2017. Who was president in 2017? Class? Say it all at once, class. Donnie Shitbags. Yep. So take your complaint to the man who, made it happen. Who was presiding over it all at the time. And again, there were two men pointed out as suspects when this shooting first happened. Neither of them were the guy. Now this name they pull out of somewhere, now it's some immigrant who Donnie's people let in. Again, I don't know if this is the guy, but the pock-faced cunt is trying to, she thinks she has a victory here. No, again, the other guy, too, that shot the two guardsmen, he was approved, he was stamped under Donnie in 2025. So I guess the question we got to ask ourselves is, why is Donnie letting these killers in? In other words, this isn't the dunk Miss Noem thinks it is. Donnie was president when the guy was let in. I don't know what to tell you. Blame Donnie. Rubio today was asked some interesting questions, and I don't usually care about Little Marco. But Little Marco today displayed the shtick of right-wing Mikey Johnson, Mikey in the Closet Johnson, and the rest. They just don't answer the question anymore. They do it in various ways. I haven't been briefed. I don't want to comment on that. I don't want to jump into that. Rubio on Trump's pardon of former Honduran president. I'm not involved in the pardon process. You don't have to be involved to say what you think about it, man. But he knows that. You know that. The press knows that. Yet we continue with this fucking charade. He's no longer in office. Okay, what difference does that fucking make? I can't comment on our pardons process. Sure you can. I have many jobs, but that ain't one of them. We're not asking about your job or anything like that. We're asking what you think of pardoning a convicted drug trafficker who had like a 45-year sentence, who brought in like 500 tons of coke over the years. And this is all we get from these people. Spineless. Well, it's so evil and it's so twisted and it's so wrong and illegal. I can't even give you an answer. That's the territory we're in, and we've been in for a fucking while. I think I'm getting sick again. So forgive me if I'm a bit off. Fucking spinelessness. Just the spinelessness, the cowardice just is, it's shocking to me how bad it's gotten. Oh, do you want to see what little Marco looks like as he's doing this act? So you can really picture it, you know? Do you stand by your statement from earlier this year that nobody has died from U.S. aid cuts? I'm very proud of the changes we've made in foreign aid. So you're proud of starving little third world children. Okay. That's why he's going to the lake. God's going to show him a picture of a starving child that he and his people and the Reich made happen. And then God's going to press the play button so Rubio can hear his own voice. I'm very proud of the changes we've made in foreign aid. I bet you that's how it's going to go down. Just guessing. Breaking. Grindr is having a severe outage in Phoenix during Turning Point USA's convention. Son, let me tell you something. This ain't the first headline I've seen like this, where there was a right-wing convention somewhere and the Grindr app in that area pinging those towers, baby. All those extra people that ain't from there. The traffic goes way the fuck up, or the site crashes. There's an outage map printed here with the whole thing. This ain't a joke. This is something that continues to happen. When right-wing conventions are in town. You know, the family values people. This is a Turning Point USA convention, so it's all, you know, evangelicals, right-wingers, Charlie Kirk type people. I think Charlie was probably 2. Benny Johnson, Mikey Johnson, Tim Pool maybe 2. This is the right wing's dirty little secret. Lindsey Graham. There's a lot of gays in the right wing, and I mean a fucking lot, that are pretending not to be gay and persecuting gays via the things they vote for, the things they say out loud, their actions, all kind of things they do. The right-wing movement in general persecutes gays. Goes out of its way to. Yet, when there's a right-wing convention, Yet there's all these gay men in the right-wing movement. I don't understand it. Who have to pretend to hate gays, vote for anti-gay legislation, persecute gays, yet they're gay. That's some just... I don't even know what to say. All I can say is this is the dirty little secret in the right-wing party. And look how many, Donnie has around him. The very people that persecute gays, Pete Thale, he pays all this money to get certain candidates in, get Donnie in to persecute gays when he's gay. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Whatever. Let's move on. Today, everybody was waiting for the files to be released. It was the deadline by court. Remember, the right didn't want to release this stuff. They had no intention to. They showed you that today. A judge said you have to. Trump's DOJ will not comply with today's release deadline for the Epstein files. Per Trump's deputy AG, the full release will instead take place over the next couple weeks. They got the deputy AG to say that because Pam didn't want her name on that shit. Again, more cowardice. All files were required by law to be released today, yeah. But I expected this. I wasn't sitting here like, oh my God, it's going to be great. It's the Reich. Of course, all they released was redacted and shit we've seen before and like 2 pictures of Bill Clinton. Like, okay. It's exactly what I expected. Fucking to the letter. Donnie did this press conference with like doctors and he talked about the Trump RX thing. It's one of the grifts I've forgotten about. There's so many grifts Donnie's involved in. TrumpRx.gov, TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name it that. Somebody named it that. That means Donnie named it that. And I guess they assume that was, did you name it Oz? Oz. We all named it together. No, you didn't, Mr. Oz. But Mr. Oz can't contradict your leader, so we all named it together. Okay, well, I'm honored to have the name. The Trump RX grift. Come to a drugstore near you. Trump announces, and this is what it looked like at the end. Trump announces he's not taking questions today, which is highly unusual, saying, I think we have to just stop right here. Yeah, I bet, Donnie. I bet. The Epstein files are supposed to be released later today. Yeah. The 6 richest men in the world are all Trump allies. They control your algorithms and data on X, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Threads, YouTube. Just in case you're wondering why more isn't done to stop the right-wing bots and misinfo on social media, what I've been yelling about for a couple years now. I almost forgot the names before I say this. Leon's the richest. Larry Page is next. Bezos is next. Sergey Brin is next. Zuckerberg is next. Number 6 was a guy named Ellison. Is it Larry Ellison? I can't remember. Number 6 is cut off. I just remember it from looking at it earlier. These are the people that own it all. Ellison, is he the one that's about to buy American TikTok? You're almost at the point, one, where you will get no more honest news, no more honest outlets. You're this close. Number two, to the oligarchy. I know you think and you thought Donnie was going to bring you your oligarch utopia. You're going to have it for about 5 minutes. It wasn't enough for you people to be rich as fuck, to get handout after handout, a lot of you, over the years. Handout from Russia. You all took massive amounts of Russian money. Massive. For roughly 20 years. That wasn't enough either. Censoring whoever the fuck you felt like that wasn't paying you, or for the mob, or whatever reason, that wasn't enough for you. You also had to install Donnie because you want more. Your greed is unfathomable to me. I don't even understand it. Because I'm more the type of guy, once I hit some obscene amount of money, you know what I'm doing, son? Retiring. Not giving a fuck about none of you. And by none of you, I mean YouTube and all, just this whole thing. I wouldn't even think about it. And I'm not talking about the audience and reporting and stuff like that. That's not what I mean. You thought and you think you're going to get this beautiful oligarch utopia for the next 50, 60 years, whatever, 40 years, however long you live. You're not. And the guy in the car that you've been fucking with for years, who you've defamed, who you've cost a lot of money and a career, is here to promise you it's not going to happen. You're going to have it for about 5 minutes. Then the man going to take it all, including your soul. I wouldn't want to be you in this life or the fucking next, son. For anyone whose greed, when you have 100 million, 50 million, whatever, and you want more, anyone whose greed is that, I don't know, instinctive, there's only one place for you, son. God has no use for you. I'm sorry. And again, here's the thing, that not that it matters, because these people are of Satan and their greed is a bottomless void, a black hole that can't be filled. The entirety of the world, again, was rigged in all of your favor, because you made it that way with your money and the people that came before you. You're raking in money hand over fist. The tax code's even rigged utterly in your favor. The law is rigged in your favor. Making a fortune from Russia, America, all kinds of places. And it's never enough. It wasn't enough. And you know what? What I realize about you people, let's put it this way. What I realize about a percentage of humanity, a quite large percentage, they would be perfectly fine if they were on the right side of the fence with, I don't know, 100,000 people having all the money on earth, all the treasure, all the land on earth, everyone else huddled in a mass, starving and dying. There's a percentage of humanity that as long as they were on the right side of the fence in that scenario, they'd be fucking fine with it and they'd sleep like a baby. That is why you're going to the lake. Precisely. Oligarch Utopia will last about 5 minutes. Then it's the lake, son. I'm sorry. You chose it. I did not. Yes, the guy you fucked over, who has nothing, is wiser than you and knows your future. It's a fucked up feeling, isn't it? I bet it is. All guaranteed, son. Inevitable. I promise you. And almost every damn thing I've said, to the letter, has come true so far. Son. Donnie already put his name on the Kennedy Center. Didn't wait. No act of Congress. Fuck you. I'm a dictator. I own the world. Total Adolf Hitler shit. One of the most beloved figures in politics or of the presidencies. Fucking John F. Kennedy. This cunt of utter mediocrity in orange face puts his name on top of John F. Kennedy's name on the Kennedy Center, son. Yeah, he's the Antichrist. Donald Trump and the John F. Kennedy Center. And isn't that just cheese? You just take your name and write "and" next to it on top of the title that was already there of an actual beloved figure. This is the type shit that shows you what Donnie really is. This is totally unnecessary. What does Donnie care if his name's on the Kennedy Center? He cares because he's the Antichrist. He's not like us. He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He's evil. He's a rapist. He's a pedophile. He's a murderer. And much, much more. This is some Adolf Hitler shit right here. No president would dare do some shit like this. This situation is different, son. That's the only reason I'm here. Don't ever mistake this for what you've been watching your entire life, all of you. Just some guy mad about who's president. Nope. This is the one time it's much, much more serious. The guy yelling on camera, when you see it all play out, you'll understand why he was yelling. What you've seen so far should be enough, but whatever. Again, not till it comes and knocks on our doors, right, folks? I know. I've recognized the pattern of humanity. I need to take a break for a moment. I will be right back. The Donald Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Arts. Not Antichristy or Reiki or Hitlery at all, right? Right. Donald Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center just slaps his name on top of one of the most beloved figures in American history. That's the Antichrist. Won't have regard for any God. I was thinking about that piece of scripture, and then I thought, well, he has regard for the devil. I see the tribute being paid by what he says and does. Goat statues, shit like that. And this is what a DC resident has to say about it. And this is what he looks like. We should all be shocked that a convicted felon, a thug, and by all means a grifter has just stuck his name on top of a national monument. He stuck his name, son. Do you hear me? In America, he stuck his name above John F. Kennedy's name. John F. Kennedy was a real movie star, not in the movies, in the public. He was a movie star, son. That's why they had to kill him. They couldn't beat him. They would have never beat him in an election. His brother either. That's why they had to kill him too, or try. Did he? Yeah, he did die, didn't he? I'm not kidding. Ted thought about running for president a couple times. They told him, you better not. That Kennedy name, that the son, how can I forget about him too? Going down in the plane. That could have easily been an accident. Or maybe he was talking about a run. I don't know. That name scares the fuck out of the right-wing CIA machine. The George Bush Sr. people. Because they can't beat that name. That's why 2 of them had to fucking die. And there are other reasons he fucked over the CIA with the Cuba thing. Yeah, we got a shameless fucking $3 grifter in orange face and a diaper full of shit who puts his name over Kennedy's name on the Kennedy Center. Again, the story and the dictators throughout time, you're seeing how they do things. And I know you all thought it couldn't happen in America. I always knew it could. I didn't know if it ever would. Until Donnie came along. But when I look back at right-wing politics since 1945, like I said, what I see now that I have full understanding, now that we're at the maximum expression of it, I look back before, they're doing a lot of the same things they did under George Bush Jr. and even before. So many of the agendas were always there, getting rid of democracy, all that shit. It's happened. You're here. And it's not a drill, and you're not watching some asshole that just doesn't like the president. I'm sorry. I wish it was only that, man. I wish more than you, the rube that would say that about me, I wish more than you that was true. That's one of the problems I have every fucking day of my existence for 10 years, and especially since January. I know to the core of me what he is, and he proves it by the second. I don't want him to. I want him to prove me wrong, rubes. Because I know what it means. The horror we've seen already. My God, the horrors to come. Not only do I know what it means, and I understand it, and I can feel it, there's a story I read that's coming true to the fucking letter. Down to the hatred of women. Every fucking detail. So what I'm trying to say to you is, you're in it, son. Don't doubt it. Don't question it. Don't debate it. Understand that you're in it and proceed motherfucking accordingly. That's all you can do. Wishing it wasn't so, I'd wish that every day. Does nothing. I wish it more than you. Waste of my time, worthless. Waves still building, waves still coming. Maybe the worst wave imaginable since the beginning of time. He's kind of described that way. It'll be worse than all of them. We're over 100 bodies in down in the Caribbean, by the way. And we ain't even a year into this monstrosity, son. So I'm telling you for sure, for certain, in granite, in concrete, you're in it, man. Whether you believe in it, agree with it, want it, don't want it, you're in it. That thing that nobody wants to be in. That was prophesied for thousands of years. And, you know, most of all, the story coming true to the letter, the description of how all this would be, the description of how it would be a pair. We had a chancellor and co-chancellor for a minute. I'm not talking about a vice president, son. A pair. Beast 1, Beast 2. A pair. Hitler came in a pair as well. You had a chancellor. Hitler was co-chancellor. But that wasn't it. As much as it looked like it, and it looked like its son. I would have thought he was the Antichrist back then. He was definitely the Antichrist of the day. Do you notice these tyrants keep popping up throughout history in different parts of the world and ruining the whole world? Hitler was the first one with some real modern technology to work with. That's why his Reich was so devastating. You're in a Reich, they're Nazis. On top of it, they're Satanists, whether they say Hail Satan or not. The number's been verified via the hand signs, the coin, the building. So many different ways over the years. You know what the number is. If the number was not verified, I would tell you that. I looked at it. I told you about the coin, the most recent expression of the number. I told you I didn't want to look at it. Because I knew before I looked exactly what the fuck I would find. And a month or two went by, whatever, and I knew the coin was out. And I just didn't want to look at it. When I looked at it, 20 seconds in, oh, FFF, 666, okay. Kind of obvious. And I found exactly what I thought I'd find. And again, people, here's the thing that's different about me than everyone else. I don't want to be right. I didn't want to find that. So I didn't look at it. I didn't want to find it. In other words, it's not a person going in looking for confirmation of their fucking bias. It's a person going in, son, looking to be proven wrong. For 10 years, every single day. Saying, please, God, can I be wrong? Show me I'm wrong. Every day it gets confirmed further. And again, what the day I was completely, utterly convinced was Assassination Day. And again, that's one of the parts of scripture I always kind of wondered about. That head wound thing. How is that going to play out in front of the whole world? How does that work? Who's that going to be? That a guy I already thought was the Antichrist, the only one ever I've ever pointed to. And I'm not a young man. He gets the head wound that heals in front of the whole world. Uh-oh. Double confirmation. Didn't want that either. That was a sad day for me. So in this situation, in the mob situation, I was always hoping that something would come along that really showed me I was wrong. In both of these situations, it only got worse as time progressed. It only made me more certain, not less. And then the tie between the two. What really validated it all for me, or not validated, made me think, it's a sign from the heavens, Nick, telling you were right about it all. Can you guess, class? The two situations that have no connection to each other other than Satan's son. Rock stars and their deaths and the Donnie thing. Now, they tried to bring that Pizzagate into it, and I warned you that that was all bullshit back then. And so many of you thought, wow, he doesn't believe in Pizzagate. What's wrong with him? I'm not so easy to fool. That's what's different. And I wasn't, I didn't buy the talking points in right-wing Vlad land, right-wing white supremacist land. Where was I going with this? Oh, the tie. I'm sorry. A lot of information in here. Son, you can't make this up. I'm telling you a story, son. Listen up. Years with the rock stars, getting banned, men sent to kill me, FBI called, all kinds of great stuff. Wonderful. And it dies down a little bit. Assassination Day happens. And I realize, okay, all these years hoping it wasn't him. Well, that's dead. It's him. And I just saw one of the central core moments of the apocalypse or Revelation. And that just proved to me that God exists, the devil exists, and the paradigm is Christ and the attempt to stop Christ. It's been proven. It won't be proven to you again until the two witnesses come, whoever they are, and they die, and then they come back to life. That's when it'll probably be proven to you. But I know the paradigm now, and I always wondered which paradigm we were in. I told you that. Now I know. So I see the central core moment of the story of Revelation. And it happens to the guy who I pointed to and said was the Antichrist in 2015. The only person I've ever pointed to. And then 2 days later, would you believe it? One of the rock star's widows on a shopping jaunt in Italy, I believe, gets punched in the stomach by a thief and some item was stolen from her. Two days, son, after Assassination Day. Now, that might not sound like a big deal to you, but you don't know these people. And these people are a PR family. Everything's PR, image, bullshit, lies. So you know what happened? What I think happened? They saw that stunt by Donnie and they said, that's a good public relations idea. So they had their own event. 2 days later, son. Never forget that. And every once in a while, I would say to you people over the years, during the rock star days, because once in a while I would talk, the political thing again, even though it's never been politics. I have to give that speech as well again, don't I? I'll get to it. I used to say they're the same evil. And Donnie, he gives a total vibe like Grandma. Remember Grandma? So many of Donnie's posts remind me of exactly of her posts. They should have gotten married. So I've said they're the same evil. Also, I noticed in the Rockstar days, I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon with this sentiment. Other people knew their reputation before I did. Everyone called them grifters. So I just joined the party, I guess. And then I got to know them, and yeah. Well, they say the same thing about the Trump family. I mean, the literal same thing. I find that fascinating and interesting as well. But let me move on. I digress way too fucking much. This is Robert Reich, and he's legit, and he doesn't put out bullshit information. Trump has now conducted 28 boat strikes, killing over 100 people. So Pete and Donnie and the Admiral's body count of their mass murder tour is over 100 now, just so you know that. Remember, no judge or jury has found these boats were trafficking drugs. We're simply taking Trump's word for it. Yeah, I ain't seen no kilos of coke. What you talking about? You can't even present a fake kilo of coke to us? That's how little fucking respect you have for us, of course. He's unilaterally acting as judge, jury, executioner. This is a danger to us all. Again, unless it's an oil barge or an oil boat, then you're safe. They'll just steal that and kidnap the crew. Look, have you seen a kilo of coke from these boats yet? I haven't. It's almost as if the Reich is lying and they're just indiscriminately blowing up whoever the fuck they feel like, and then presenting it to the world as they were narco-terrorists with a boat full of drugs coming to the United States when none of them were coming to the United States. So again, Pete and Donnie's mass murder has reached over 100 men. And Donnie, I knew you'd get there. I know you've killed a lot of people before you were president and after. But this is pure, just naked, in our face. You show us the video, except the one that'll get you indicted at The Hague. Straight up murder. I knew you'd get there, Donnie. I knew you'd fulfill your destiny as the Antichrist. And this is just for openers again. He's just getting started. I knew it. I knew he'd live up. That's why I've been yelling. That's what I've been saying since January. You didn't believe me. I know. More will die. Back to Rubio. Here he is, little Marco. Do you think the U.S. needs to go to Congress in order to conduct land strikes in Venezuela? Or simplify the question, do you need to go to Congress to go for war? Or do you need to go to Congress to get permission to go to war? Does the Reich need to do that? The correct answer is yes. Of course, little Marco doesn't say that. I'm not going to speculate on that. What do you mean speculate? All I'm going to tell you is that no administration has ever accepted the War Powers Act as being constituted. That's not an answer, son. Again, the spinelessness, the just fucking coward. They can't even answer the question. They just... Look, in America, and there's a reason, Rubes. I know you don't care. You just want a dictator that's evil like you. I know. But for everybody else, the reason we do it that way in America, so a president can't be a dictator and just start attacking people willy-nilly with the American people's property called the American military. We're a democracy. We vote on whether we go to war. Our representatives do that. Not one guy sitting in the White House, I think I want Venezuela's oil, so I'll use the American citizens' property, the U.S. military, to steal another country's gold. That's precisely why we have Congress vote on it. So a dictator can't do that. That's how democracies work. One guy doesn't get to decide whether we go to war as an entire nation. One old crusty guy in a diaper who will not do any of the fighting. Such a shame Rubio isn't brave enough to say that simple thing. Here's a montage of Nutlick. I'm not going to play it for you. I'm just going to give you the point of it. Nutlick proving what I say about him. He's the consummate used car salesman. He would lie to Jesus. Montage of Howard Nutlick over the past 9 months, constantly moving the goalposts on when the economy is going to be booming. Fourth quarter, first quarter, second quarter, 1 year. He was asked in March when it wasn't going to be Biden's fault anymore. We own the economy in the fourth quarter. They'll be saying it's Biden's fault next year even. None of this is Biden's fault. There's a tariff grift going on, and there's many other grifts going on, and you're being dismantled and looted. And I will get back to that. And the goalposts again, the used car salesman. Oh, it's going to be good in a few months. It's going to be good soon. It'll be good in quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, next year, the end of next year. Again, rubes, cunts. All we hear from the Reich when they're campaigning and when they first win, we're going to solve everything in 24 hours. They haven't solved jack shit. Farmers are committing suicide. Tariffs out the ass. People losing their businesses. People getting rounded up. Our military's been turned against us. They're mass murdering people in the Caribbean. It's not, in other words, nothing's getting solved. It just gets worse. But we warned you that's how it would go. But you knew better. Always moving the goalposts in Magaland. Like we're going to release the Epstein files. Then we release nothing. Then we say there's going to be a phase 2. No, there's not. They don't exist. Then we get 1,000 FBI agents to redact the files, get Donnie's name out. Then we still don't release them. Like Lucy with the football and Charlie Brown. That's the Reich, baby. This looks more like a cover-up than an actual release of the Epstein files, and that's Ted Lieu, and you best recognize. Breaking, the redacted Epstein files have been released. The first file I opened, here are 4 of the pages. This is one of the Krasenstein guys. Wow, that's a lot of black bars. I don't see any text there, really. You know what that means? Just this one shot alone. Do you know what this means? Dottie's name's all fucking over it. That's the proof of Dottie's guilt right there. Brian Tyler Cohen, and a lot of people posted this, just tried to search for Trump's name in the Epstein Files library on the DOJ's website. You'll be shocked to learn that there's no mention of him whatsoever. That was part of the ruling there. It has to be a searchable database. Oh, again, Brian Tyler again. I didn't know I had 2. Okay. The Trump administration's release of the Epstein grand jury documents are entirely redacted. It's 119 pages of black rectangles. This is what it looks like. And his post there would scroll and show each page is all black. They didn't even bar it out, son. They just blacked the whole fucking page. That's how guilty Donnie is. They didn't even do you the courtesy of letting you see how many lines there were. Just fuck you, Donald's a pedophile. That's what they're telling you. You're not on the right side of it. Again, get off of it. That's all I can say to you, man. I'd take that advice if I were you. That's some advice you could use for eternity. There will be some pain here now. Persecution by the Reich. That will be short, though. You go along with the Reich, you take the mark. The pain you endure will be forever. You don't want that. Here's another commenter. There's entire sections of these files that are just entirely blacked out pages, so you got nothing again. And this one looks like this. Wow. Yeah, Donnie's a pedophile, I'm sorry. Once again, he proves it in spades. Here's a reporter talking about it, and that looks like this. When I opened it, I gasped because I thought we were going to see something. What I saw instead was a 100-page document that says Grand Jury of New York at the top of it, and that's the only text that you can see. It goes on for 119 pages, where every single page of it is completely and 100% blacked out. Wow. It's exactly what I expected. Nutlick claims he's already sold over 1.3 billion of Trump gold cards. When Donnie turns and asks one of the cabinet a question, that was rehearsed like 8 times. He did that earlier when he turned to Oz and said who named it, because they have to do the theater that Donnie didn't name it. That's planned ahead of time. Because Donnie knows it's a grift. Donnie knows it's a transparent grift. So he wants to put the idea forth that, oh, it wasn't my idea to put my name on it. Asshole in orange face, you just slapped your name over John F. Kennedy's on the Kennedy Center. You want your name on fucking everything. You fucking 2-year-old Caesar, fake-ass wannabe god. So Donnie held up the gold card and he talked about it for a second, saying it's citizenship on steroids or something like that, basically admitting he's straight up selling citizenship or charging companies to allow them to have all foreign workers, however you want to look at it. He holds the card up, he turns to Nutlick, and this is all rehearsed, and it's obvious. And he asks Nutlick, how much of this, how many did we sell so far? Oh, over 1.3 billion worth of Trump gold cards. Complete fabrication. Complete lie. Yet another one of Donnie's just overt, in-your-face, fucking straight-up grifts. The president has a gold card where you can pay him over $1 million and you get citizenship automatically. They just released a bunch of Epstein files, and I scrolled through a flight log document for 5 minutes, found Donald Trump in there 5 different times. This has already been out, the flight log with Donnie and his family members' names on it. So once again, they released shit that was already released. But not everyone remembers this. Sure looks like Trump took his daughter Tiffany to Epstein's Island with Marla Maples. Right. What I noticed about Donnie when I first looked at the flight logs, which came out years ago, I can't remember exactly when in this process. It came out later than a lot of other information. I noticed the family members were with him. And I thought to myself, oh, is that Donnie's cover? Is that what he does? He brings the family, or says the family's with him in the flight logs, to make it look like it's not just a trip to fight, or excuse me, to have sex with barely pubescent girls. Is that the move, Donnie? You bring the family and you say it's a family vacation, right? Does Donnie strike you as the type of guy who spends a lot of time with his family, or any time at all? Just because I see Donnie's name next to his family members on the flight logs, don't mean I buy for a second that it was just a wholesome family vacation, son. I know exactly what it was. So did Marla, obviously. So I believe that information was already out. So again, they gave you redacted shit. Probably shit you've seen before. They probably redacted that. And they gave you other shit you've seen before. I was literally wondering about this for the past few days. And now I have my answer. I was wondering about the judge in Wisconsin that got arrested for the allegedly helping a migrant escape the ICE people that busted into her fucking courtroom in masks. Judge in Wisconsin convicted of helping immigrant avoid arrest by ICE. This is what this woman did. Very plainly stated. If this is true. She helped someone avoid a roundup. By masked thugs. The Gestapo was hoping for these moments when they burst into these courtrooms and acted like fucking maniacs to kidnap people at their hearings, for fuck's sake. I also want to remind you, all the cunts out there that keep saying all these people are criminals and blah, they shouldn't have come here illegally. The Venezuelans that got sent to CCOT and others had protected status. In other words, cunts, they were here legally. Then Donnie took that away and shipped them to a death camp. He did that to other groups too. Arresting liberal judges. Part of the reason the Gestapo was going to courtrooms is it's easy pickings. One, if you want to stay in the country, you got to show up for your mandatory court appearances and all that until you're a citizen. So you don't really have a choice. Easy pickings, and they wanted a reaction from a judge just like this. The criminals in massive machine guns, the terrorists I've been seeing going around, sitting on top of pregnant women and macing babies and breaking windows all over babies, and obviously untrained sociopaths willing to take money for kidnapping, straight up racial profiling, arresting 170 U.S. citizens at least. They're the law, right? That's what we're running with. And she helps someone evade that law, right? I don't think that argument, in fact, I know that argument before the man will be useless. Good luck with it, son. I can see the man kind of staring at you, listening to you say it out loud. You see, God, that judge, she was the evil one. She was the wrong one. She was the one breaking the law. I know I was the guy busting in her courtroom with a mask and a machine gun, rounding people up. But it was legal, Lord. I was the law. And that judge was the criminal. I can see some of you cunts making that argument before God himself. And he's just going to laugh at you and say, you see that lake over there? Proceed. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like I told you before, God don't give a flying fuck what you cunts say the law is. So they got one liberal judge down. Congratulations, Reich. It's really shaping up beautifully to look like a real Reich. I wonder when I'm going to wake up and find out all the liberals in government were arrested. I'm sure the rubes will be real happy with that, because that's what God would want, right? Wouldn't know God if he slapped you in the fucking face, son. If you did, you wouldn't have your name on this. This is the gin expert, Pete Hegseth, and he's got an update for us. That just happens to be, you know, the day the Epstein files were supposed to be released. Earlier today, U.S. forces commenced Operation Hawkeye Strike in Syria to eliminate ISIS fighters. Oh, more wars in the Middle East. No problem, right? Right, Roops? Infrastructure and weapon sites in direct response to the attack on U.S. forces that occurred on December 13 in Palmyra, Syria. So now we're in a back and forth war in the Middle East again. Great. That's awesome. This is not the beginning of a war. Yes, it is. It is a declaration of vengeance. No, it's not. The United States of America under Trump's leadership will never hesitate, never relent to defend our people. World War III, that's all that's coming. And Armageddon, that's all that's coming. And Pete and the boys, they can think stealing Venezuela's oil and killing people in Syria and putting temples up in Israel and leveling Gaza and putting American troops in there. They can think that's not a start of a war, or they can say it. Unfortunately, it is the start of a war. Guaranteed. So Ron Filadkowski posted this for your edification. And he said over the top of it, Operation Epstein distraction, right? And again, I want to stress, whether there was an Epstein or not, all these things would have still happened. These war plans, these murders, the conquest of parts of the world that you're going to witness in the coming couple years, the Mark, the Temple, that was all a plan before the election even happened. Ron, as smart as he is, again, that's the one angle he doesn't see it from, because he's a politics guy, obviously for years, by what he knows. He's a very smart guy. He reminds me a lot of me, the way I think and look at things. And he doesn't post bullshit. It's always legitimate, sourced. He's not just posting something in 3 seconds that isn't true. Again, that's why I like him. Again, a news feed I built up over several years to make sure I had a legitimate news feed. Not people that just wanted to post drama for clicks every 2 seconds. But yes, Epstein distraction. Now, the Epstein files did alter timing in some things, obviously. But all these things were going to happen anyway. This is genius, whoever fucking thought about this. The Donnie scene in Home Alone, but Donnie the pedophile's redacted. Fucking genius, whoever thought of that. The pedophile, Donnie Shitbags, the mass murderer, the Antichrist, redacted. Okay, I got 4 more. I gotta take a break, though. I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling like myself tonight. I feel ill a little bit again. My head's clogged up. My one ear doesn't work. I'm not in good shape, people. I'm sure this cigarette will help. I'll be right back. Think of it as a commercial break without commercials. Okay. Ron Filipkowski again. We already knew Bill Clinton and other Dems were in the files, but we said release everything, let the chips fall. Congress passed a law to release everything, but DOJ decided to violate that law by cherry-picking certain things while covering for Trump and his cronies, right? Many of us out here that aren't part of the right-wing cult, the MAGA cult, said, you want to release the files? If Bill's in them, okay, whatever, do it. They never did it. Because that's how much Donnie's in the goddamn files. And that bullshit releasing a couple pictures of Bill Clinton today, all that proved is Donnie's just guilty as fuck. And everything else is redacted. Give me a fucking break. And it's exactly what I thought. What, they couldn't get Ghislaine to say that Bill was all up in it? And this liberal and that liberal, they couldn't get her to say that? What, she wanted a pardon to say that? Is that what it is, Donnie? And you know, if you pardon her, forget about it. He might as well have. He put her in fucking Club Med. Again, just that alone. Epstein dies on him and Bill Barr's watch. And we know why, and we know how. Ghislaine gets transferred to Club Med on Donnie's watch. And we know why. Your boy's a pedophile, I'm sorry. He keeps showing you. He showed you when he transferred Ghislaine. He showed you when he didn't sue Rupert for the birthday card. But the point is, we're not hypocrites like you, son. And it's not a team sport for us. Us people that actually believe in something. Whatever political party you belong to, if you actually believe in something. In other words, we really did care about the little children's. More than you. And we cared who was an actual criminal and who wasn't. You didn't at all. You voted for a convicted felon. That just tells me a lot. That right there tells me you believe in nothing. Ron again. You are either on team release everything except for victim info, right? Or you are a pedo protector, right? I like Bill Clinton. But I ain't sitting here saying, if Bill's in it, we got to hide that. No. It's highly disappointing Bill's involved, in my opinion. But he's nowhere near as involved as Donnie, my God. Donnie, it was his life. Best friends with the guy. So the point again, where it's 2025, they ran on giving it to you and they haven't given you jack shit. And everyone satisfied with this obvious cover-up is on Team Pedo Protector. There is no middle ground. That is who you are. That's the cold, hard motherfucking truth. I know you people don't want to acknowledge it. It's what I've been trying to tell you for 10 years. And if this is who you are, you need to make it not the fuck who you are. That's what I've been yelling for 10 years to you people. When I say get your name off it. Because Ron's exactly right. There's no middle ground, there's no gray area. Either you want the information released, you want the little children's protected, like you've been preaching for 20 years with your lying and Pizzagate ass, or you don't. Or you're on Team Pedo. That's it, son. Just like in all the videos where I say there's only two paths. There can be no indifference. That's where you at. There's only two. With the Epstein shit, same thing. Either you want to protect the little children's, like you say, you want the criminals exposed, like you say, or you don't. That puts you on the side of the criminals, you understand that. Obviously, you don't mind. That's why you're going to the lake. I'm sorry you chose it, I did not. There's something else along with this I have to say. My entire life, even all the way up to this moment, people keep calling it politics. Why? And people have said things, you've probably heard it many times. No politics at the dinner table. Let's not talk politics in this house. It's politics. We can still be friends, right? No. It's never been politics, son. It's been the future of this country, and it's a neon sign that each of us wear saying what we stand for. And the calling it politics or saying that's just my politics, that's not me, that's a cop-out. That's what the humans, or some humans did to separate themselves from the evil within them, from the evil they chose, from the evil they made happen. It's a neat little trick that humans do. Your politics were never separate from you, son, and they were never politics. Either you believe in giving all the money to the rich, racism, roundups, camps, fascism, murder, extermination, mass murder, pedophilia. Either you believe in all that or you don't. Calling that your politics or my opinion's different than yours, when your opinion is Nazism, white supremacy, giving all the money to the oligarchy, because that's what you've been voting for, son. Taking social programs away from utterly poor people. Another way to say it, so many times, you voted for evil over and over again since the beginning of time. Humans have been doing this, putting their name on evil men and women. And then they walk away facing no repercussions for that. Many others face repercussions and suffering and persecution, etc., via that choice, via that evil within you. But you don't care about that. Again, since the beginning of time, this has been going on, but the American experiment is the greatest example of it. This time, again, the goddamn bill is due, son. And all of you people for your whole life that voted evil time after time after time. You're going to pay for it now. We all are. You don't get to walk away this time. A lot of you farmers learned that lesson in the first term. Then you forgot the ones that stayed on the planet. Then you said, can I have another helping of that? Because you thought, like you've done all your life before, putting your name on that evil in the ballot box behind the curtain where no one can see, that you would just walk away unscathed again. And it would only hurt the people you don't like again. But this time, son, again, I'm here to tell you. Guaranteed. The bill is due for all of you. And every single one of you, by the end of this little movie, you will rue the fucking day you made the choice to follow this last one, to put your name on evil this last time. You will rue the fucking day. Guaranteed. You've made the beginning of the story come truer all the way up to the middle. How it ends right before, I guess, everyone dies on the battlefield, all of you people. Plague upon plague upon plague, to the point you beg to die, and God don't even let you die. Until he's ready. Read the story again, son. That's your future. Inevitable, lest you turn away. So, this little trick that some of you humans did, it became a societal kind of thing. We all accepted that our politics are somehow separate from us because that's the way a percentage of us justified the evil within us, the evil we put our names on. It was never just politics. It was never separate from you. It was you. It's who you are. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Ron trying to tell you, if you on Team Pedo, that's who you are. Is that who you want to be? You got a redacted mess today. You got nothing today. From the Reich, yet again. Your boy's a pedophile. Is that who you want to be? Do you want to be on that team? That's the team you've been on for 10 fucking years. That's why I've been yelling for 10 years. So again, son, I suggest you get the fuck off that team. And I can't promise you by getting off that team you're going to get to vote for someone else in the future that's better. No, that's over. You've made sure of it. That chance will never come. Sorry. Donnie's it. Joe Biden was the last president. Sorry. That is who you are. If it's who you are, make it not the fuck who you are. That is my most urgent advice to you. Donnie did a Trump rally today. I guess he thought that would take attention away from him not releasing the Epstein shit. And it looked like this, and I only got 2 clips from it. There's, he did all the usual lies, rants. But this one about Margie Green, I was rather surprised. Would you ever think Donnie would be doing a Trump rally and talking abject shit on Marge Green? I told you way back, right before the election, remember? And I've been saying for 10 years. But I revived it right before the election. Donnie throws every fucking body under the bus. We talking about Margie Sporkfoot here again. Marjorie Trader Brown, I call her, because green turns to brown under stress. So I call her Trader Brown. This is amazing. The traitor that Margie stood up for was an utter howler monkey for, made her whole identity, was going to ride his coattails all the way to the Senate and beyond. That traitor that she enabled, helped, preach their gospel, is now calling her a traitor. Amazing. That's the Antichrist, baby. So I call her Trader Brown, which I don't like doing because 2 words is too much, 2 out of 3. Jesus Christ. Like I said, the Antichrist throws everyone under the... I don't care who you are. You could be co-chancellor, son. You still get the foot up the ass. God himself describes this thing as a beast. Describes Leon as a beast, too, if he's beast, too. And I think he is. This was incredible. Donnie does a hypothetical, I was treated wrong. I'm paraphrasing. But basically saying I'm going to take $1 billion. It started at 350, remember? Donnie was only going to steal 350 million from the Treasury. He told you that out loud. I knew that number would go up. I knew it. So Donnie does a little skit in front of the crowd. I was treated wrongly. I sued the federal government. Now I am the federal government, and I get to decide how much I get. I think I'll give myself $1 billion. Hold on. You thought the Antichrist was done, son? And I know I said I'll give it all to charity, but maybe I should just keep it. No, I'll give it to charity. He ain't gonna give one goddamn penny to charity, son. That ain't Donnie shitbags. This motherfucker. You cunts. I hate you. I fucking hate you. This motherfucker. This pure, just fecal matter fucking grifter from the fucking sewer. I told you he'd dip his hand in the treasury, and who the fuck would stop him, right? He boasting out loud. This is after boasting about he's going to take 350 million. You fucking idiots. And you know who I'm talking to. This cunt just said out loud at his rally tonight, I am going to take $1 billion from the Treasury. He said it out loud in front of you. Cunts! There is no rube like the American rube. There is no mark like the American mark. All the people that have fought and died for this nation over its 200 years. And you cunts just give it away to a worthless, diapered, orange-faced fucking con man of the lowest common denominator. The Antichrist, Stephen, to the point, after weeks ago saying he's going to steal straight up $350 million under the guise of a lawsuit, right, assholes? Oh, I know, Donnie. I know the Antichrist. I knew that number was a bit low. He just said straight up, he's going to take $1 billion from the Treasury. You goddamn idiots. I hate you. Don't take the mark. And don't take it because you mad at me. It won't be worth it, son. Have a wonderful evening.